If you're thinking of relocating to the Augusta, Georgia area, and you're really wondering about the travel distance from Evans, Augusta, Hetzibah, to Atlanta, to the Atlanta airport, I'm going to show you the details of the travel on the video today. I'm Delrisa Rollison, Augusta Certified Relocation Specialist, and welcome to the original Living in Augusta, Georgia channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just really take you on a journey with me, because I've had a lot of you guys asking about the travel, the distance, because I know, like, if you live in other cities, sometimes your travel to the airport may be 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little more. But if you're going to relocate to the Augusta, Georgia area, let me tell you, your travel from Evans, Augusta area to Atlanta, which is the Atlanta airport, is going to take you about 2.5 hours to drive. So it's a 2.5 hour drive to get to the airport, to get to the Atlanta Hartsfield airport. And then, of course, you have to go through everything that you're going to go through when you get to the airport. I'm going to show you that. If you haven't gone to the Atlanta airport, you're going to see it is, I mean, it's one of the largest airports in the United States. So, which basically means that it's busy and it takes time. So I'm going to show you all of that, but just stay tuned. And right now, what I'm going to show you is I-20. So on I-20, which is the expressway between Augusta that takes us on to Atlanta, and it's basically a 2-lane road. The traffic is generally pretty good until we get to closer to Atlanta, and we're averaging about 80 miles per hour. So you average about 80 miles per hour going from Evans. Well, I do. So I average about 80 miles per hour going from Evans, Augusta to Atlanta. But I'm keeping up with traffic, and I'll turn the camera around so you guys can see the road. So you definitely need to be comfortable with driving expressways if you're going to relocate to our area and drive back and forth to the airport. We do have the Augusta airport, the Augusta Regional Airport. That airport, if you catch flights from Augusta, more than likely it's not going to be a direct flight. Some flights are direct, but the majority of the flights, at least that I generally fly, I would have to go fly from Augusta to Atlanta to go to my destination, or just have a layover. I don't like having layovers. I like direct flights. So I'd rather just drive to I'd rather just drive to Atlanta, or I'd rather drive to like Charlotte. So Charlotte is also about a 2.5 hour ride or so. I don't know if you saw, but on the left there was a police officer just zoomed past. So on I-20, we do have a few, what I like to call is speed traps. So we do have a few speed traps. Once you get familiar with the road, you pretty much know where the police hang out here on I-20. Police do hang out. So if you're going to visit the area, and if you're going to drive from Atlanta to Augusta, let me tell you, be very, very careful. There's another police. So the police are out today. The police do hang out on the viaducts. So they'll be at the top of the viaduct, and some of the police will be hiding in like the ramps where you get on and off the expressway, kind of like back in the, I like to say back in the woods a little bit. So you go speeding past the ramp, you got one on the viaduct communicating with the officer that's down on the ramp, and they can get you. So you have to be really careful. So what I try to do is keep up with traffic. I try not to go too far away from traffic and not behind traffic, but like I don't want to be in the mix, because it's just dangerous in my opinion. So say like right now, going about 80, and these cars are slowing up a little bit. So I did see 2 police officers, so I don't know if they're slowing up just because of the police, or if they're slowing up just because they drive a little more cautious, or just drive a slower speed. A lot of trucks out here, so that's one of the things you're gonna see as we're driving. You're gonna see a lot of trucks. The trucks, for the most part, do stay in the right lane. So as you're driving here in our area, this is something that if you're not comfortable with, hopefully you will get comfortable with driving expressway. It's a very easy drive. So if you're driving from a larger city, like if you're coming from Chicago, New York, LA, Texas, the larger cities, you're gonna notice that this drive is really easy in comparison to like the Chicagoland area, which is where I'm initially from. So just take you on the journey. Now, when I previously mentioned the viaducts is where the police will hide. So say for instance, this viaduct that we're getting ready to approach here, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so you see here, sometimes you'll see police just sitting there at the top of the viaducts and they're clocking radar. They're clocking our speed, and then further down, the next exit will be a police officer sitting back in the woods. So that's something to really be looking out for. So as you guys come and you visit and you do your discovery visits or you relocate to the area, definitely know that's something that you're going to have to look out for as you relocate to the area. So the last time I traveled to the Atlanta airport, which was actually a couple of months ago, there was a lot of construction right before you get to the Atlanta area, say like when you get past Conyers. So I'm not really sure what the status is, but we will definitely find out today what the construction looks like. And one of the things I will warn you all about, when you relocate to the area or when you drive from the Atlanta airport to the Augusta, Georgia area, definitely you guys be really careful, because Atlanta drivers, they're very aggressive with their driving. They literally will be in one lane, like to the left, notice that they want to go get off the expressway, and they'll zip on over. They tailgate a lot, they drive faster, so you just got to really just be a lot more alert. So now we've been on the road for about an hour and 15 minutes or so, and I'm starting to see, I can see to the right there, putting in a new ramp. So starting to see construction. So the ride for the past hour and 15 minutes or so has been very easy. It's been a very easy drive. No construction. You can see over to the left. I'll try to zoom in as much as possible and stay safe. But as you can see over there, sorry, they're adding ramps. So they're adding a ramp on that side. They're adding a ramp over here on the right side as well. So ramps on both sides. So those are things. So one of the things here in our area, as we now are entering, getting closer to Atlanta, the infrastructure in Atlanta is really different because the population in Atlanta is really high. So there are a lot of people who live in Atlanta, and I really do not feel, it's my personal opinion, I do not feel that the infrastructure has kept up with the growth that has occurred in Atlanta. So I hope and pray that does not, we don't experience that in Augusta, but in Atlanta, the traffic is so bad generally. So when we get further down, you'll experience the traffic. But it's really good to see that they are doing construction to improve the road conditions, which is here they were at, like I mentioned, adding ramps. And as we go further, you'll see they're changing, connecting expressways, making some spaghetti bows. So anyways, what I call them is spaghetti bows. So as we go further, you'll have an opportunity to see exactly what's going on here in the Georgia area as we get closer to Atlanta, Georgia. And as we get closer to the airport specifically. Oh, and I was talking to you all about the police earlier. Sometimes, every now and then, you will see police hiding in the middle of the road here, because you can see connecting the expressways. But it's easier, of course, when you're driving during the day. I like driving to the airport during the day just because of the distance and because it's harder to see animals and harder to see the police. But during the day, it's a lot easier to see them, but they will hide also in the, in the grass here to the left, where the areas are connecting the both sides of the expressway. So if you're gonna drive here to the Augusta, Georgia area from the airport, it may be to your best interest to try to do that when the sun is up, so you'll have visual capability of seeing things very good. We are right now entering what I call the speed traps. This is one of the viaducts where the police will hide, and they'll, well, not hide, but they'll clock you on radar there, and then they will go ahead and hide back on the ramps here to the right. You see, I can't show you all because I'm the driver, but this is one of the areas here. Okay, so now you can see the expressway has expanded. We're just now at exit 92. So this is the area here where we go from a 2-lane for an I-20 onto a 3-lane. So we get an additional lane, and traffic is probably more than likely going to pick up, and the traffic behavior is probably going to change here. You may get an opportunity to see some of just the way people drive here in Atlanta. You've come from a big city, like I'm from the Chicagoland area. It's not a big deal to me, but our people in Augusta are a lot more courteous when it comes to driving, as opposed to the drivers here in the Atlanta area. It's just that's been my experience. So we now got a 3-lane road. Remember I mentioned when we get to like the Covington area, sometimes that's where we'll start seeing construction, but construction has started before Covington now. So, because the last time I was here, the construction was not before Covington. So now they brought it down a little further. So just give you an idea of what's going on if you're going to come to the Augusta area anytime in the near future. Shows you what to expect. So it starts looking more like a city. See, that driver wasn't paying attention. Swerved over in my lane. So it's starting to look more like a city here, where in Augusta it's not as urban looking as far as the expressway is concerned. So you see now we've got 3-lane roads on both sides. We've got a frontage road, 2 on the left side there. So I'm sure you definitely see the difference in the expressway now compared to when we first got on the expressway on I-20. So I'll be interested in knowing, tell me down in the comments, how does this area that we're in right now, which is the Atlanta area, how does this expressway compare to the expressway that you're accustomed to in your area? Does your expressway look more like I-20 when we first got on, when it's like a 2-lane road on both sides? Or is your expressway more like this, we've got 3 lanes or more? I'll be curious of just want to hear what you're accustomed to when it comes to your expressways or your interstates, your freeways. This is one part that I love about Georgia, the little hills, the rolling hills. It's just so pretty to me. Just so beautiful. And this is, we're in the end of September. Well, we're in September and it's still very green here. So That's one of the things that's really nice about our area as well. So as you can see here, they're making an overpass. So you can see on the right and the left, the cement. So they're going to put an overpass there, which will be really good as far as the traffic. I guess people then won't have to get on the expressway to get from one destination to another. They can just go on the overpass. If you live in the Atlanta, Georgia area, or if you've ever lived here, or if you come to Atlanta often, also I'd like to know in the comments, like, what do you think about the traffic here? What has your experience been? Is it something that if you live in the Atlanta area, like, do you just get used to the traffic? Do you get accustomed to it? And honestly, right now it's not bad. So today is a Friday. It's 12:02 p.m. and the traffic is moving really good. Like, I can deal with this when I come to Atlanta. Normally it's really heavy. So I don't know if it's going to thicken up a little bit, or if it's just a time of day, but we'll see as we get further along. But I'm just curious to know, for those who live in the Atlanta area, or who have lived in the Atlanta area, what has your experience been with the traffic, and what is your mindset? Like, I do have some friends who live in the Atlanta area, and they tell me that they just really time their travels to go back and forth to the store, to go to different places because of the traffic. So they time their life around traffic, which to me is just that's a bit much. I really wouldn't want to have to do that. We don't have to do that in the Augusta, Georgia area. I didn't have to do that where I'm from the Chicagoland area, but relocating to Atlanta, some of the people have told me that that's what they do. But right now, the traffic, honestly, is not that bad. Surprisingly, honestly, the traffic is really good today. This seems like it's one of the best traffic patterns that I've experienced since I've been here. And I've been here for 10 years, going on 11 years now. So I'm not really sure what has changed. I'm not sure if it's because of the time of day. I've traveled this time of day to Atlanta before, and the traffic was extremely heavy. I'm not really sure if some of the construction has affected it. Oh, it's starting to lock up now. I guess I spoke too soon. So we're now just at mile marker 73, and you see the traffic is starting to get heavy. Welcome to Atlanta. Yep, this is Atlanta's traffic here. So let's see, it is now, we're about 40 minutes from the airport. That's what GPS said. And of course it did factor in traffic. But now we're just sitting here, and hopefully it will unlock once we get past this construction zone. Hopefully this is just in the construction zone. Okay, you guys, just want to check in. We've been sitting in traffic for 10 minutes. So this has been averaging about 10 miles per hour, 5 miles per hour, 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour for the past 10 minutes. And it looks like it's not clearing up right away, but just wanted to check in just to let you know what's going on. And hopefully when I turn the camera back on, we'll be in the clear. But I'll continue to let you know what the time is like as far as the construction is concerned. Okay, so it's been about, now we're about the 20-minute mark. Well, 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Let's see, I don't know if this lane is running out. Is this lane running out? Oh my gosh, it is. This lane is running out. They didn't even have a sign to warn us to let us know that the lane was running out. But I do see somebody. Okay. Thank you. A car has stopped here where they've had an accident. Okay, so there was an accident. So look at the traffic, you guys, over there. So in addition to the construction, there was an accident. And that's one thing. Another thing about Atlanta, I forgot to even mention that. You will see accidents a lot. Seems like every time I come to Atlanta, I see accidents on the expressway. And of course, because you have a higher risk, a higher chance of getting involved in an accident because there are more people, there's more traffic. But now it's clear. So it literally took us 20 minutes to get through that. So we had the construction, which was a variable, and then we also had the accident, which influenced the traffic. So now we're clear. Hopefully this will stay clear for the rest of the way. And we've probably got maybe another, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so. Perhaps, I'm not really sure at this point. I've lost track.
In 2 miles, take exit 67A to merge onto I-285 South toward Atlanta Airport.
Okay, so we're just 2 miles from our exit, as you could hear Mr. GPS interrupting the video. But we've got about 2 miles to go before we get to our section to turn off. So what we're gonna do is we're driving now to the parking lot to park my vehicle. So when you drive to the Atlanta airport, you drive to the airport, you park your car, pay to park, leave your car there. It's not that expensive, probably between $9 to $14, $15, $16 a day. It just depends upon what happens. Sometimes they have specials going on all the time. So particularly this trip, Wally parking is where we're gonna go. So you park your car, then you take the shuttle to your destination, which is the airport. Get to the airport and you'll see the process there, because that is quite a process as well, because Atlanta's airport is so big. So we'll take our journey getting closer to our destination. So if you live in the Atlanta area, if you know the timeline of when this expressway construction should be complete, drop it down in the comments. Let us know. That'll be information that will be very valuable, that a lot of us will appreciate as we come back and forth to Atlanta. See the overpass they're building there? That's amazing how they do this construction. Just build a highway out of nothing. So when you move to Augusta, just know that when you travel, your travel day is a travel day. It's not just a matter of, I'm gonna catch a quick flight and I'm gonna fly to wherever. No, if you're gonna drive to Atlanta, that's 2.5 hours just to get to the airport. That's just to arrive to the airport. And then once you get to the airport, you've got to go through, security and everything that you have to go through there. So unless you go through the Augusta airport, you take that to a connecting flight, or if you're fortunate enough to find one that goes straight through, a direct flight, then that'd be great. Or else you have to go through Charlotte, which Charlotte is about the same thing, about 2 to 2.5 hour drive from the Augusta, Georgia area. It's not as aggressive as the Atlanta area. So we're at the point now, we're almost at the airport. We probably got another 15 minutes or so to go before we arrive. Overall, honestly, traffic was not bad. There was, of course, that accident that we saw, and it was just a fender bender. Thank God that doesn't look like anyone was hurt. And then also we had the construction, which wasn't a lot of construction. So we've been moving very nicely. There's not a lot of traffic out right now. So just to notate, Friday about between 10:30. I got on the road at 10:30. It is now 12:44. Just kind of gives you an idea of the traffic pattern that we encountered during this time of day. So one of the good things about the Atlanta airport is most of the parking lots are together. Here you'll see to the right is a place called the parking spot. To the left is Wally Park. There's also Peachy parking. So you've got a nice selection of parking places here. Some people will also go to airports. I'm sorry. Some people will go to the hotels, park their cars at the hotels, and then just take the shuttle from the hotel to the airport. And now you just find a parking place, jump on the shuttle, and go to the airport. So I left the Augusta, Georgia area at 10:30 this morning. It is now 12:57 and I have made it to the parking lot. So parked my vehicle. Now I'm waiting for the shuttle to come, and the shuttle will take me to the airport. So this gives you an idea of what you go through if you're relocating to the Augusta, Georgia area and you're planning to travel. So your travel day, literally, like I mentioned before, is a travel day. We haven't even gotten to the airport yet. It's almost 1 o'clock, and left at 10:30. Well, got on the expressway at 10:30. So now the parking shuttle will take us over to the airport. Arrived here to the airport. It's probably like a 7-minute, 10-minute ride. Now at the airport in Atlanta, of course, as I mentioned before, is massive. It's huge. I'm going through security. Thankfully, I'm going through pre-check, the TSA pre-check, so it's not as long, but it's still really long today. Just got to go through security. Once we go through security, we have to go on the train. So if you haven't been to the Atlanta airport, you have to take a train to get to the concourse. And the train takes you to various concourses. It's a few minutes ride there. So you get down to the train station. Gotta wait for the train. Everyone waits for the train, jump on the train, and then it's about maybe, I don't know, a few minutes to get to the concourses. And then from there, you wait for the plane. So just to give you an idea of the time period that it takes, the amount of time it takes to get here to the Atlanta airport, so from the expressway to the gate. I'm sitting out at the gate. Got on the expressway at 10:30, so which means I left my house probably about 10:05 or so. So 10:05 until 2 o'clock. It is now 2 o'clock. So to give you an idea, it is not a quick process. You're not getting ready to jump in the car and be in the airport in like 20, 30 minutes. It's going to take you a while to get to the Atlanta airport coming from Augusta. So as you consider relocating to the Augusta, Georgia area, make sure you do keep that in the equation, that it's going to take time to travel to get to the airport when you are leaving Augusta. And it doesn't matter if you're going to Atlanta or if you're going to Charlotte. It's going to take a few hours to get there. So from basically 10 o'clock till 2, I haven't even gotten out of the state yet. So it gives you an idea of what we go through here to travel. So now the time is 2:34. So you see we started our journey at 10 o'clock in the Augusta, Georgia area. Now on flight 2:30. So it gives you an idea of how long it takes to travel from Augusta to the airport, get seated. So for those who have been wondering, because many of you have been wondering how long it takes to travel from our area to get to the Atlanta airport. So this is actually very normal if you're traveling. If you're going to go by flight, you either have to go through the Augusta Regional Airport, which is going to end up with a layover somewhere, or come to Atlanta or go to Charlotte. So if you need additional information on your way here to the Augusta, Georgia area, all of my contact information is down below. Once again, I'm Delrisa Rollinson, Augusta Certified Relocation Specialist, and see you in the next video.